So in this video, we are going to make a hydrangea wreath. And we are going to need, obviously, lots and lots of fresh hydrangeas that are newly picked. You do not want to use already dried because they will crumble. Anyway, you're going to need lots of hydrangeas. You are going to need a piece of oiled twine for a hanger. You are going to need a straw wreath. I use a 12-inch straw wreath. And then the other thing you're going to need are these greening pins. I call them floral pins. And it's the pins that we will use to hold the hydrangea in place. This variety in particular is called strawberry vanilla. This is a young blossom. They start out white and they start to turn pink, and as the blossoms mature in age, they turn a nice muted green and a more duskier pink. This is when they're ready to harvest, in this stage right here. And you can actually feel by touch. I know you can't touch this, but I think you can see how this is very, very flimsy. If I dry this, all these flowers are gonna like pucker and close. You don't want that. The reason I don't know if you can hear the difference. Can you hear how it has more of a straw sound? And if you feel the blossom, it is very, very sturdy and already starting to dry on the plant. I start first of all going the whole way around this way with the flowers, and then I go inside and add more, and then outside and add even more. And you want it very full so that when it's hanging on your, pretend I'm a door, but when it's hanging on your door or wall, you don't want the straw to show. So this looks like a good girl to start with. So what I do is I will just pull this is going to be what's showing on my wreath. This is what's going to be against the straw. So I am just going to pull a few pieces of that off so it's a little more flat. And I am going to start right here. So I am going to actually just take the hydrangea, and you want to take the greening pin, and you want to make sure you capture the stem, and part of the flower is fine too, and you're just going to push it in there really, really tight, and that'll hold it. And then this will be our next one. Again, I'm going to take just a few pieces off of the back. There we go. I'm going to save them because that's probably what I'm going to put on the inside. So then I just take this new flower and I snug it up against the first one. You see how I'm just kind of snugging it up there? And you want to make sure you get it up there nice and snug, because as they dry, they might shrink a little bit, so you don't want to be able to see the straw through. Okay, so there I am. Next greening pin. And I'm not only capturing the first one, or the new one, I'm capturing the first one as well. So it's good to leave a good bit of stem as you're putting these together. You're gonna get like a little brown petal, and that's fine. If that bothers you, just pick it out. And there's one there, just pick it out. Or if you have a bunch on the back, put it against the straw. That way you don't see it. Some people like to leave a leaf on or two so that it shows through. I think it's pretty, but if you don't want the leaf to show through, you're just gonna pick your leaves off. way down in here. Can you see how I'm doing that? This stem, I want to go behind the very first blossom that I put in place. And you're gonna do that with the next one too, because you don't want your stems sticking out. Yeah, did you hear that? There, that's perfect. So you can hardly see where you start and where you end once you get your pin in. So that's pretty enough just like that. But remember I said you want to cover this up here. So now that we've done the whole front of the wreath, now we want to do on the outside. Remember all these small pieces that we had right here? This is where they come into play. And I usually just prop it against my leg. And now, I don't know if you can get in here and see, but I'm going to start covering up the perimeter here. This is actually going to take more pins, okay, because you're just doing small pieces here. This all filled in so nicely. And if you look at it from the front on, as it's hanging, you don't see the straw. Here we are, here's my hanger. This will be your take-home wreath. And it's really not ready to hang because it's not dried. So the way you want to dry it, I take them and I just lay them flat, just like so. I will put it in a cool, dry spot away from any kind of direct light or sunshine. That will discolor your flowers. You want to retain as much color as possible in this wreath. So if you have even like a closet that you're not using, you know, just make sure you have something sturdy to hold. Make sure you lay it flat so it dries nicely. It will dry, I would say, about 5 days if it's in that environment. And then you're ready to go. As far as care, once they are dried, I like to mist mine twice a year during the winter months, when you have the heat on and when it's really dry. And that'll help to keep it more supple. So there we go.